This is SoIN.
This is SoIN.
This is SoIN. This is SoIN.
This is SoIN.
This is SoIN, presented by NWSB, and I'm Angie Fenton. Grab a cup of coffee or cocoa, curl up on the couch, and join us for the next 30 minutes as we celebrate Southern Indiana and beyond.
My favorite Christmas movie would have to be The Grinch. It's hilarious and it's a classic. My favorite Christmas song is definitely Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. During Christmas, I am definitely a giver. I would love to give gifts rather than receive them. My favorite gift as a mom is anything from my kids. My favorite Christmas tradition would have to be opening a gift the night before on Christmas Eve, one present. If I had to choose between eggnog or hot chocolate, it would definitely be hot chocolate with extra marshmallows. I am a person who definitely decorates in November, like the first week before Christmas. If we got a bunch of snow, I would definitely prefer building a snowman versus going sledding. I celebrate on Christmas Day. I believe in traditions instead of celebrating on Christmas Eve. I think that I'm grateful to be able to provide for my kids this Christmas with how the economy and everything is right now.
They often say kids say the darndest things. Well, there's someone who knows that for sure. Santa Lincoln is joining us today. Santa, I mean, could that not be any more true?
Oh, it's the truth. And you don't realize it until you're with these little ones and they have the opportunity to be real candid and real honest and real truthful with us. And boy, they say some funny stuff.
Before we talk about some of the best and I would bet most memorable stories, you're known as Santa Lincoln.
Yes.
And you're part of a brotherhood of Santas that are out there doing the goodwill at this time. But before this time of year, how do people know you?
I'm a local small business owner. I'm an auctioneer by trade, so I'm a fast talker and a realtor, and I've always been real good in front of people. And a lot of times in selling houses, you got to deal with people's kids because they're everywhere. And I always had this ability to just really zone in on those little kids, keep everybody calm, and talk to them like, this may be something. This might be something. And so I was able to join the International Brotherhood of Real Bearded Santas. And I'm a member and a proud member of that, and have learned that, you just have to get out there and spread love and share energy with people as much as possible. And while I do it intensely, for 8 weeks out of the year, my Santa heart is with me every day. And that's the best part of it.
Well, Santa Lincoln, I've watched this journey because you started sharing on social media. Facebook and then TikTok and boom.
Yeah.
It has blown up and the reactions have been incredible. And almost, I'm just going to take a guess, 99.9% absolutely positive. And I think that other little tiny minority are going, what? Why would you do this?
Yeah. Well, if you know me, you know why I do it, right? Because I'm a super involved person in our community, from Dare to Care to philanthropy to the Clark County Youth Shelter, all that stuff. It's just always a big part of my DNA and who I am. And I'm like, there's no better way to spread love and spread the message. I've done Secret Santa stuff in the past before, but not in a full suit. This year, I did an amazing thing, a neighborhood, somebody that lived in a neighborhood, a man lost his job, and the neighbors rallied and raised cash for Christmas and put it in a box and wrapped it and gave it to me, and I went and dropped it off to his house, knocked the door on a Saturday morning at 9 a.m., and he comes out all disheveled and his pajamas on. He had no idea, and I go, Santa here with a gift for you. Your neighbors love you. And I gave him the gift. And to see, and he didn't even know what was in the box, right? But to be in that moment with him, that he got this gift that he wasn't expecting, and I got to be the vessel that helped deliver that, I'm right where I need to be.
I think one of the most heartwarming parts, I mean, I'm just going to admit it, I have just sat there and binge watched your TikTok sometimes when I'm in need of a boost.
Thank you.
Because what I love about it is that you saw something, I can do this. And I can spread some joy in a world that needs it. And then you didn't just do it. I mean, you did it. Just being in your presence is magical. So what is that like when you know that you get to do something like that and give people what we are so lacking right now, that love, that joy, an unconditional ear to hear what they have to say?
It gives me the chance to be a rock for people and something to hold on to from their past, in the magical moment of what they have from Santa in the past, and then in the present, how the vision of Santa and being around me one-on-one, how that affects them in the present day. And then most importantly, I bring hope and belief in the future and joy and happiness and love for all to everybody. And so we cover the past, present, and the future as Santa. So, 2 years ago when I started this journey, first time I put on my full Santa suit a year ago, I looked in the mirror and I kid you not, Angie, I started crying. Aww. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is it. This is my coming out as Santa story.
Now, you said previous or during the prior part of the year, you are a small business owner. Are you still able to, though, during this holiday season, during the Christmas season? So how do you, I mean,
I don't sleep much.
When you auctioneer, do you throw in a ho, ho, ho? I mean,
yeah, so my auction operation is all online.
Okay.
And my real estate business is all relationship driven with people. And I have 3 team members that work for me, and they keep my auction business going. And I focus on real estate and being Santa.
So you can take literally the Santa hat off, and sometimes you do. But I also know you've got to keep that Santa hat very close because you're booked.
I am booked. We're real busy. We have the city of Charlestown, the city of Jeffersonville, Ivy Tech, several corporate events. We have over 75 home events, 150 different scheduled time slots. We're doing multi-sensory night in our Santa studio in Charlestown, Indiana, where kids that are on the spectrum or special needs, gives them a nice, safe, controlled environment where they can come and have a one-on-one Santa experience. Because, taking your kid who's on the spectrum to the mall has nothing to do with fun and being seen with Santa. But we are able to dial it in.
What's the funniest thing you can recollect quickly, because I'm sure you could sit and think, that a child has said to you?
The other day, I was at a elementary school and a kid sit on my lap and he goes, I know what I want, Santa. And my favorite thing is to be in the chair. Hands down, being Santa, the best part is being in the chair because you can, work back and forth with kids and talk to them. And he said, I want a BB gun for Christmas. And I'm like, well, what they say, and I can't say that. I can't, but I can say I want you to be careful. I said, because you know what can happen, don't you? He looked right at me, he goes, I'll shoot my eye out. And he hopped off my lap and took off running. He knew.
He knew. Set it all up right there.
He set it up. And that was fun.
So I have to just tell you this. So this year, my daughter is 6, and she shared what she's been asking for. And one that I love is a kite. That's one of my favorite things. So she wants Santa to bring her a kite, and then a bunch of dolls that are Vampirina and all these things.
Oh, yes.
But last year, and someone caught this on video, I was mortified because there is my daughter who is looking like this, and she's got some tears in her eyes, and she walks up to Santa and she asks Santa and says, my parents have been working so hard. For Christmas, could you send them some elves so they don't have to work so hard? And I was like, Olive! Yeah. On one hand, she was trying to say something. On the other hand, this is a kid who has a small but mighty village of people who ensure that she is doing all of these things. But I'll tell you what, that Santa was so amazing in how he handled that, but it also gave mom and dad a little pause. If she's telling Santa that, how does she really feel? How many times do you get kids who say things like that
A lot.
kind of check the parents?
A lot. And it's like they can say it in front of their parents as long as they've got me right there.
Yes.
It's like it's a safe zone for them. And I've come to figure out that I have a safe zone that's about 3 feet all the way around me when I have my Santa suit on. And people get into that zone, and it's really magical.
I know this is a really busy time for Santa, but if people want to keep up with you, what's the best way to do that?
MyLocalSanta.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks so much,
Thank
Santa
you.
Lincoln.
Merry Christmas.
By the way, am I on the naughty or nice list?
You're on the nice list. You're good.
And you heard it here.
I don't necessarily have a favorite Christmas song, but my mom will drive me crazy every year and play the radio stations as soon as it comes on the day after Halloween. My favorite Christmas movie is probably The Grinch. I would definitely prefer to give gifts over receiving them. The favorite gift I've ever received was probably an electric scooter when I was about 7, and then I continued to crash it in the kitchen when I was trying to drive it. So. My favorite Christmas tradition is when my family gets together and my grandma makes a fudge pie, and she'll make like 3 of them and everyone fights over who gets to take one home. If I had to choose between eggnog versus hot chocolate, I would definitely choose hot chocolate. Me and my family decorate for Christmas the first day of December or after Thanksgiving. Building a snowman versus sledding, I think is a hard debate because they are both very fun, but probably sledding. Me and my family always celebrate on Christmas Day. I'm grateful for getting to spend time with my family this holiday season.
Samtec is a kind of a well-known secret here. I wish it was more well-known secret here in Southern Indiana. We were founded in 1976 by a gentleman by the name of Sam Shine, and have grown to be a almost $1 billion connector company with almost 8,000 employees around the world. Samtec manufactures any type of electronic connector. Anything electric needs some type of connector, whether to make it go faster, to make more data to come through your computer. Those are the type of connectors that Samtec makes. Samtec Cares is our grant program, and it's a part of our overall corporate giving. We're so excited that since 2018, we've given away over $3.5 million to 125 worthy nonprofits in our community. And we have helped things from schools to veteran organizations to the underserved majority of our folks in need here in the community. So we're so proud to be able to do that and to be able to give back. We need to have global consciousness of what's going on in our world. And we need to make sure that we're doing sustainable things to make our world a better place. And without having sustainable projects and programs in place, what are we doing, right? Why we have to leave the world a better place than when we found it. So Samtec Cares is a proud sponsor of Extol Love. It's another way for us to give back to those nonprofits that we have seen come through our grant program, and to give them a helping hand. And we love that Extol is also giving them a helping hand. We kind of find that in today's world, nonprofits don't have a lot of leftover money for marketing and for that type of budget. And our partnership with Extol is giving our nonprofits the ability to reach more people in our community so it gets their message out. Samtec Cares has really allowed me to become more engaged in our community, and it's provided this fulfillment and purpose in my life that I didn't have before. So I think that's kind of the legacy that I would like to leave for others within Samtec, is to be exposed to Same Tech Cares, to be exposed to these organizations that are doing wonderful work in our community, and find something that speaks to them and gives them something to be passionate about to help others.
You're invited to join us at Trinity Church in New Albany to celebrate the gift of Jesus and the true meaning of Christmas with a casual family service on December 24th at 7 p.m. At 10 p.m., join us for a candlelight Christmas Eve service with traditional carols and choral selections with a full orchestra. Come early and enjoy an organ prelude and 20 minutes of music beginning at 9:40 p.m. This Christmas Eve, you belong here at Trinity Church in New Albany.
If I'm meeting friends, Huber Winery is our place to go. We can eat inside or outside. We can take our time. The noise levels are great, so that's our to-go place.
Dr. Josh Kornberg of the Next Generation of Leadership is a business advisor, and one of my most favorite columns that he's written for Extol is, "It's not a closed door," I'm peeking back here.
It's just a bad idea.
Or as I say, your idea just sucks.
It's just not going to work.
Just not the nice
it's just
word.
not going to work.
So, okay, we hear the cliches. I mean, now, especially on social media, everybody has inspiration to spout and share, which I kind of love, and I appreciate that.
I love the love.
I do,
Yeah.
but it's not a closed door. I mean, that just means that there's another one to walk through, but you're saying it's not a closed door. Sometimes it's just your idea is no good.
And you know, it's so funny. No one likes to be told that their kid's ugly, right? No one wants to hear that. However, there are times when we just need to recognize that no matter how hard you push and no matter how badly you want something to happen, it's just not a good idea. Like, there are reasons that it might not be a good idea. Maybe it's not financially feasible, or the research doesn't support whatever thing that you're wanting to happen. But there are times we just need to be real with ourselves and say, you know what, as badly as I want that thing to happen, it's just not going to.
Why do we take that so personally, especially in the workplace?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I really struggle with this, and honestly, this is a concept that I have just recently been dealing with. Gosh, I've come up, my brain, if anyone knows me, my mind just does not turn off. It's always something, and I'm coming up with my next plan or scheme or whatever it may be, and we get so fixated on these ideas, and there's so much ownership in them. And so I have to remind myself, I'm not married to these ideas.
Right.
It's just something that I've come up with. It's just a random thought that I have, and I thought it made some sense, and I thought it would be a great thing. And there are issues and solutions that I have come up with what I thought was the best answer, and I just cannot get traction on them. And so there are times where I still might be convinced that it's a great idea, but then there have been other times I'm like, you know, that one just needs to go away for a little while.
Or for a long
while. Yep, send that one off into the corner.
I work with my husband, and I mean, technically I'm his boss, and he'll say that.
Sure.
Jason Applegate. I mean, but he's so creative in so many ways, and we really complement each other. But he's funny because I think he is one of the best, if not the best person I've ever met who would adopt that. It's not a closed door, it's just a bad idea, because he will throw things out there unabashedly. I mean, he doesn't care if it's an idea. I mean, he'll call me and he'll go, I had the best idea yet. I mean, he literally says that to me at least once a week, Josh. And then sometimes I'll listen, and then other times I'll go, that is horrific.
And
he knows, like, he's waiting for that. And then he moves on. Whereas I'm fixated. What does that say about me? Nobody liked my idea.
Yep.
What if I never come up with a good idea? how can I be a little more Jason
Yeah.
Applegate-ish?
Oh gosh, well, I don't know. Should anyone strive for that? No, I'm just kidding. We all love Jason.
Right.
I'll tell you. So in the column, it's not a closed door. It's just a bad idea. I write about 3 different things or techniques that individuals
Right.
can utilize to be able to assess whether or not this is a good idea or just a closed door, or if we need to go ahead and put it aside. So the first one that I talk about is giving yourself a timeline, giving yourself a very specific set of time to let an idea play out. Because, so I write in the article, for me, I typically give myself 90 days. I give myself 3 months. And if I can't make traction, and if I can't move something forward after 3 months, then chances are, it's not that,
Let it go.
I gotta let that baby go. And trust me, there will be many more ideas to come along. But internally, I just think it's a great practice to set a time limit for yourself and say, all right, if I can't make progress in 3 months of actively working on this thing, then I need to be okay with that.
Okay.
So then the second thing I talk about is something that Jason clearly does well, is you need to give yourself a group of trusted advisors for feedback. And you need to do this before you need the feedback. So I've got people in my life who they know I'm going to come up with these off-the-wall ideas. And they have given me permission to take it to them whenever I have an idea that I want to run past them. And I don't give permission to everybody to do this,
Sure,
but it's my group of people who I've selected, and I have given them the ultimate authority, and that's to shoot down every idea. Because I don't want to hear it from random strangers, and I don't want to hear it from my boss. I would much rather hear it from a group of people who I have pre-selected and who know that I'm going to be throwing out ideas to them. I think what makes this a little different is this requires some work on the front side to say, I know I'm going to be pushing out some creative ideas, but rather than just simply letting them work through, this is a group of people who you know you're not going to take it personal, because you have made that decision to give them the access to shoot things down or to put the halt on a plan. So the first one, talking about giving yourself a timeline. The second one, it talks about finding your group of people. And then the third thing that I talk about is you just have to be okay to shelf it. And maybe it means that it goes in the garbage can. Yeah. I like to say most of my ideas live on a shelf somewhere. But until we're okay with actually putting our ideas out of our daily mind and out of our daily routine, they're going to get in the way, and that they will continue to prohibit us from thinking about the next best thing, making the next best decision. So at some point, when we have decided, either through our timeline or through a group of people that we trust, we have to be okay to shelf the idea and to let it rest for a little while. Maybe it needs to cook a little bit longer, or maybe it's just going to go live in a garbage can. But either way, we need to set it out of our main line of sight.
I have to say, Jason, I know I'm not the only person that he runs things by, but the other day he came up with an idea. We have a new client who has a wife who they really want to be involved in the business in a way, I mean, she never has. And his idea was brilliant. It involves community engagement and some philanthropy.
Sure.
And we're both so excited. We've refined it a little bit, but to pitch that to the client.
And those are the moments that you just feel so good. And when you're able to share and co-create and co-collaborate around these ideas, those are the really magical moments.
It was special. I like the garbage can idea, though. It's kind of like with clothing. I'm at that point in my closet, during lockdown, I'm one of those who purged, and then now all of a sudden it's out of control again.
Right. You can only look at things for so long.
Instead of the garbage can, time to shift it on to Goodwill or
shelf
another.
It for a little bit. That's right. That's right.
But I will say this: I've said it before in other capacities. I'm pre-diabetic. It's one of the reasons that I stopped drinking. I went vegan for a while, and I have had it in my head to get my group exercise instructor certification, mostly so I can offer classes to some of our lower income, different nonprofits. And I mean, the New Albany Housing Authority has my heart with their family self-sufficiency program. And darn it, Josh, you just made me, I'm setting that darn deadline. I've got the books, I've got the certification.
That's right.
And I am going to give myself, if I have not made traction because I have to set that test.
That's right.
3 months, then I'm going to shelve it, and no, I'm not. So I'm going to set that deadline.
That's right. And
with you.
by giving yourself that deadline, what it says is, I'm either going to do it
or I'm done.
Or I'm done.
Because it weighs on me. It
That's right.
weighs on me so much.
It's clearly something that you're passionate about, something that's at the forefront of your mind. But what else could you do with your mental capacity if you weren't thinking
about that?
Mm-hmm.
And also, I mean, either do it or let it go.
That's right.
For a while.
You can shelf that one too.
But I don't want to.
That's right.
I don't want to.
But you could if you needed to, and that's not a failure either.
Giving yourself permission.
Yep.
All right. Well, I love talking the next generation of leadership with you,
Well, I
Josh.
appreciate the opportunity to come and share just a little bit.
And we will see you next time
Very
for sure.
good. Thank you.
My favorite Christmas song is probably All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey, because it's really fun. My favorite Christmas movie would be Elf. I prefer to give gifts. My favorite gift I've ever received would be Taylor Swift tickets. My favorite Christmas tradition is going shopping locally with my mom. We do that every year. If I had to choose eggnog or hot chocolate, I would choose hot chocolate. I usually decorate for Christmas the first weekend of December. If I had to choose building a snowman or going sledding, I would choose going sledding. I actually celebrate Christmas on both Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with my families. One thing I'm grateful for this holiday season would be getting to spend time with my friends and my family.
Thanks so much for taking the time to join us this Saturday for another episode of This is SoIN. We'll be back next week on Christmas Eve.